Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Tariffs, Taxes, and Taste, Why US Products Struggle in Europe. So I think tariffs are like a very, like in the recent, I think probably in the last few months, it's been on everyone's minds, like yes, the tariffs, and it's making everything more expensive. And I think not just in the US, I think all over the world, like it's going to be, it has impacted, I think, worldwide, the worldwide prices of like a lot of products. And yes, the US is to blame, but everyone suffers. So I want to know more about this, because I think it's a topic that it's like you're constantly hearing about this, but I don't know if like you actually know like the specifics. So I'm very intrigued. So let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Tariffs are on. Wait a minute. Tariffs are off. Well, tariffs are on again. We're going to put a pause on tariffs so we can communicate.
Yeah, like we're constantly moving the deadline.
Or communications aren't going well. We're going to put the highest tariffs ever on. It goes back and forth. Are you pretty exhausted about all this tariff talk?
Yeah.
I am too, for sure. And I tell you, I wonder if there's... sometimes I wonder, is there really any logic or thought to this, or is it just like whatever we feel like from day to day?
Probably.
But anyway, so I'm Lee.
It's crazy that yes, the presidents and the governments are the ones like choosing these things, and at the end of the day, it's like you as the normal person, day-to-day person, is the one that's being affected by all of this, and you're like, no one asked me if I was okay with this.
Betty's behind the camera. And we are here on an absolutely beautiful day in Seattle, Washington. We're going to show you some images of the city. We've got the beautiful Olympic Mountains behind me in the Puget Sound, so it's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, something that as an American from the United States who lives in Germany.
Oh, okay.
And we hear about this tariff talk. Some things that I've been thinking about recently are, what's the purpose of it? So it seems to be like there's a belief, amongst our president and a lot of people who live in the United States, they seem to think that Germans or Europeans in general don't buy products from the United States. And I don't know where that thought comes from, because where the way I see it, I mean,
I think a lot of people don't really know where like what they're actually buying in a supermarket or a grocery store actually comes from. That's, I think, ultimately what's happening.
Europeans in general, Germans buy a lot of products from the United States, especially technological products and the service industry. I mean, you look, a lot of people have iPhones, a lot of people have Apple products, a lot of people wear American clothing. You see Levi's all over the place. Food and drink, American fast food is everywhere. So they do use a lot of American products.
Because American products are all over the world, like it permeates every single country, basically.
But it seems to be, time and time again, the big concern is, why don't Europeans drive American-made cars? Why don't they drive cars that come from the United States? And
because they're better. European cars are better.
And I guess the blame is on tariffs. So we're going to jack up the tariffs on European products, because, people in the U.S. love to drive foreign cars. We drive a lot of cars from Japan. We love cars from Germany. So why don't Europeans feel the same about our cars?
Because they're better.
And anyone who asks that question, I have to wonder, have you ever been to Europe? Have you ever been to Germany? And if you have you ever driven over there? And if you have, then you'd probably realize why they don't drive a lot of US made cars, because they're just not practical for the roads for a few reasons. Number one,
because you're a little
for the most part, US cars are too big. A lot of European roads are designed around...
I think you can get smaller cars in the US, but the typical American wants a big SUV.
Medieval cities, and sure, the highways are plenty big, but the small roads in the towns and villages just aren't big enough to accommodate huge Suburbans or Tahoes.
Yeah, like a Hummer, it's not driving over there.
Or whatever the case may be. So the vehicles just are not practical in Europe. and also and parking can also be very tight. I mean, if you've got a big you know
That's actually true. I think parking spots in the U.S. are bigger than in Europe. Just it's a fact of life. I'm pretty sure. Like haven't measured, but I'm pretty sure of this.
American truck, you're going to have a hard time finding parking in many
I don't think
European cities,
yeah,
towns, and
you're not
villages.
able.
It's just not. It's not going to be easy. And then you've got the fuel cost. Fuel is a lot more expensive in Europe than it
How
is
much
in the
is
United
that?
States. And
It's like $2.
I hear a lot of Americans complain about the price of gas, but it's nothing in the United States compared to what it is in Europe. So, and American cars just tend to use a lot of fuel compared to American and Asian cars. Now, Europeans will buy foreign cars because if you look at the car market in the European Union, about 25% of the new cars sold in Europe right now are Asian brands.
They're Asian. I was going to say, are they using Ford over there?
Come from Japan or South Korea for the most part. And also they are buying more Chinese cars now too. And, and if you look even more closely at that, so about 25% are brands from Asia, but and then I think about 13% of the cars sold in Europe are actually produced in Asia and shipped to Europe. So they will buy foreign cars. But if you look at the Asian cars, they identify the market in Europe and they adapt their product to the market.
Makes sense.
And I think Japanese
Everyone, I think, should do that. Adapt to the market where you're actually trying to sell whatever it is that you're trying to sell.
These cars are great at that, and even the South Korean cars, because you'll see Japanese cars in the United States. You'll see Toyotas in the United States that you'll never see in Europe because they develop big cars for the American market because they know people in the U.S. want big cars. So Toyota makes
They're falling for them.
big cars. They make, the Toyota Tundra pickup trucks. They make Land Cruisers and things like that for the American market that they don't sell in Europe because Europeans don't want them.
Of course.
So if Asian, car manufacturers can do that, why can't American car? And when we talk about the practicality of autos, from my experience from living in Germany, Germans are very practical people, right? They want to spend their money on something that they need and they're going to get use out of.
They're very pragmatic, which I don't think the U.S. is known for this.
So for the few people in Germany that, say, for example, need a pickup truck, more often than not, it's going to be an American brand. You'll see quite a few Ford F-150s, you see some Ford Rangers, and you see some Ram pickup trucks.
The F-150, I think it's the one that's a typical Ford pickup truck. I know that's not the only car that I know.
You don't see very many Chevrolets. I'm not sure why that is. But whenever you see a pickup truck, more often than not, it is an American brand. Even though Volkswagen and Mercedes actually make pickup trucks, but I would say you see more American brand trucks in Europe than you do German brands. And so they will buy American products if it's something they need, but they're just not going to buy big Yukons or Suburbans because they just don't need them. They're not practical. They use too much gas and they don't fit on their roads. And the other product, switching gears a little bit, that I hear a lot of talk about is, the President Trump wants Europeans and he wants the EU to buy more food from the United States. And I would say a big reason why a lot of food from the United States isn't sold in Europe is because it breaks EU laws.
They have a lot of chemicals and additives that I don't think that they're safe over there. Like they're not allowed. They're forbidden.
The European Union has very strict laws on food safety, the ingredients in foods, and they just simply don't think a lot of American products are safe, to be honest. I know there are products, I think Mountain Dew, for instance, isn't
Coffee Mate, Mountain Dew, Skittles, Ritz crackers.
sold in Germany, and some other things, a lot of colorings we use. So again, if we want to sell our food products,
I think I've had, yes, Gatorade, it tastes different in different places depending on when it's made. That's absolutely true.
Products or more of our food products in the European Union, in my opinion, we need to adapt our product to meet the market
Of
instead
course.
of expecting the market to
adapt to
adapt
you.
to the product. So just my thoughts. Who knows what's going to happen in this world? These talks of tariffs, they're on again, they're off again. They're going to be 50%,
What on
they're going to be
earth is that
100%, they're going to
picture?
be 15%. I don't know. So just curious, what are your thoughts? If you live in Europe, do you own any American-made products? And now that I think about it, I hear a lot of people talking about, they are much less likely. A lot of Europeans are much less likely to purchase products made by a company from the United States than they were 6 months ago. So I think our business in Europe is going to go down because of that. Regardless of tariffs, just because the
It's like personal perception has changed.
consumers are honestly a little angry. But so if you live in Europe, what are your thoughts? Are you more or less likely to purchase a product from the United States now? What do you feel about tariffs? What do you think about food from the United States? Are you less likely to eat it because you have safety concerns? And cars from the U.S. Would you purchase a U.S. car if the prices were lower, even though maybe it uses more fuel? I'd love to
No.
hear your thoughts. My fellow Americans, let me know what you think. How have the tariffs affected you? Have they affected you at all so far? Personally, I don't think I've seen a lot of influence the time I've been here, but let me know what you think. Appreciate you watching. If you found this interesting, found it helpful, give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I think it's interesting, like what he mentioned about the car. It's like, oh, if they were cheaper, like, would you still buy the car? No, absolutely not. Because I think you have to see, okay, it's going to be cheaper now, but it's going to be cheaper, like, ultimately, as in, like, for 3 years from now. No, because gas is going to be expensive. It's going to be more expensive. So ultimately, I would be paying more. So it's like, no, absolutely not. But I think they made like a really good point of, I think, boycotting, like it's an actual thing, because people are just like more, it's more enough, like it's not resentment, because I think it's like, I understand, I absolutely understand. It's because if you have like a good relationship and then all of a sudden like someone comes and tells you, yeah, we're imposing tariffs and this and this and that, people are gonna be like, you know what, never mind. It's a thing about pride, and it's like, I'm not buying whatever it is you're selling to me because I'm mad. And it's like, yes, of course, that's completely understandable. That's a very human thing. And I understand why people are like less likely to like buy American products in these like right now because of the tariff situation. It's like, yes, it's understandably so. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at this because it's like, I think I would do the same thing, because again, it's about pride, and it's a very human thing of being just, I'm too proud for this. And it's like, yes, absolutely. So it's like, in that case I'm like, yes. Has it affected people? Well, I don't know. I think we've seen like the whole it's been, because again, it's like they're delaying and whatever, like I don't know if we've seen like that many results, but I think there's some things that have changed, really, like maybe in the technological, like maybe aspect of things. But I don't know, like still like products and like olive oil and like, I don't know, tomato paste. I don't know, I'm trying to think of like products, but I think I think ultimately are just gonna like do a boycott. And again, it's like it's I'm sorry to say it, but it's like it's deserved for in the part of like for Americans. And I know that ultimately the ones like paying the prices are and paying the price are just, again, the normal regular American people in their daily lives. But it's what it's ultimately like what people are gonna do. Like, they're not thinking about this, and you're just thinking about like, oh, I'm thinking of the whole country, even though probably a lot of Americans are like not. I do not agree with this, but I'm just we're just people, and we're not making those decisions. So it is kind of like, on one hand, it's very like it's a sad situation. Like it's people, I get they're angry, but at the same time, like, I completely understand. But it is I don't know. It's a hard subject, because I don't think I like. What, like, can you tell me like what's good about the tariffs? Like, oh, because we want them to earn more. No, because ultimately I don't think this works, because people products are just going to be like more expensive for everyone, and again, the ones paying the price are are the normal people. and or they're again just gonna boycott, and it is and they're again, it's a thing about resentment, and they're gonna resent you because again it's like we had a good relationship, so what's up with that? And I think also, I think it's kind of crazy to me that to have this kind of thing of like in this day and age where there's like so many like globalization and everyone gets stuff from so many other places and so many other countries. That is kind of like an insane thing because everyone gets and everyone helps each other, and it's like you can't manufacture, I don't know, a phone without having parts of and components coming from China and some other, and maybe some others from the United States, or maybe they assemble in the United States, and maybe they have some other thing, I don't know, the Netherlands. Like there's everyone comes together because like in this day and age, like that's just the way it is made. Everyone's sort of like helping, and maybe not helping. Everyone gets like their piece of the cake. But it's like there's a whole collaborative like process, and it is a little bit of like, why are you doing this? Like you had to spoil it. Like everything was fine until people in power decided like, no, I don't like this. So I would love to know the actual like benefits of do you have the statistics of like how tariffs are actually like good for you and how it has improved like the relationship or maybe like the prices or just has improved any aspect in general? Like I would love to know like if someone has the statistics and the actual study of like, yes, I have the numbers and I have the proof, because otherwise I'm like, I don't know. And the whole thing about like food in general, like FDA, you think of like, oh, they're very safe, and the FDA is not FDA approved. But I think when you get to see like how many products are actually like forbidden in the EU, it gets to like, wow, it's very clear. Like, no, the FDA, I don't know what's up with that, but yes, there's so many things that are like forbidden in Europe. They're they're just like outright like they're banned basically. A lot of things, that components and additives and chemicals that the US uses, especially in food, that is like, wow, this is like a tough like wake up call to see like all the things that they have banned. And it is true, because I think if you, again, I mentioned the thing with Gatorade, but because it's the one that came to mind. But I think a lot of these things, like if you try them, the one that are US made, especially like cereals as well, if you have a cereal that is made in the US, or again Gatorade, and you taste them like the ones that are made in Europe, they definitely taste, they taste different. I don't know how to explain it, but you can tell like there's a big difference. I don't know if it's like a sugar thing. I don't think it's just sugar. It just like tastes different, so you can really do see the difference. It's like, oh my god, yes, they're using other things in the US that maybe don't tell me if I want to keep eating this because I'm like, I don't want to know. It's like, oh, but you always know the EU probably has like the healthier option. But yes, tariffs are crazy, and yes, I would love to know like if they're actually good for you, because I'm for normal people, because I hardly doubt it. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.